because she's in Nigeria. They pulled her. My husband is shot in South Africa of recent. The third day they bury her like a chicken.
Pack you. They will rush into your shop. They will start picking things, and you can see that is part of the criminality that you are facing.
It's not safe, and because they see that we Nigerians, we are very hardworking, they are very lazy, they don't work, they don't do anything, so they think Nigerians are taking their job, so they started this match and mad thing in South Africa that they go around with weapon and all the rest, so we have to just leave and for our safety.
About 900 Nigerians returned from South Africa by their government, and it was even due to one of Nigerian businessman allegedly has been shot dead by South Africans, and that motivated their government to bring them back from South Africa to Nigeria. And at the airport they shared their horror experiences they experienced while they were living in South Africa. Let's listen to them and we'll be right back. Don't forget to subscribe, okay?
They're going home because a lot of them don't feel safe. Their businesses have been shut down. They can't operate. Their livelihoods have been shattered. They're living in fear, basically. You're walking on the street and a fellow citizen can stop you and ask for your papers. People have been harmed. Businesses have been looted. So basically, the opportunity has been presented. Come home.
I lost money, I lost property, I lost my wife, I lost my son over there. I swear to God, South Africa is not a country.
It's not a country.
I swear.
Africa is My name is Madabuchuku John Okeke from John Okeke from Anambra State, Oxigoroka government.
Where were you based in South Africa?
I based in Johannesburg, Joburg South, Tarfantin.
So Sandwich, are you happy to be back in Nigeria?
Yeah, I'm very happy because a lot have been going there. I'm very, very happy to come back with my life. Because a lot of people that will go through this process, some of them couldn't make it. Some passed away yesterday. 2 were killed yesterday. One was killed in Pretoria, one was killed in Jamestown. Because of all this Abraham. Yeah, so I'm really happy to come back with my life.
Sorry, how long have you been?
I've been in South Africa for over 7 years. Since 2019, February 25.
Okay, do you have the necessary papers, documents
South
Africa?
Yes, I have my passport is valid. The ASRAM, I have ASRAM, but before we travel, we have to cancel the ASRAM by Home Affairs before they can process your TC.
Now, when you were in South Africa during this whole saga, were you under any kind of threat? And what?
A lot of threats. Even where I'm staying, you can't sleep with 2 eyes closed. You can't sleep with 2 eyes closed. You can't walk by the street. When you're walking by the street, you have to be looking at your back in case. And those police people and use that thing to make it like they open a business for them. Because even when they show you, even when you show them your document, they still want money from you. So I would say there is a lot of threat, and government are not doing anything. Their government are not doing anything about it. Some people will walk through this process. One of us passed away yesterday because of this process. They was hitting the guy with their stick, and the guy passed away yesterday night. And also on Nigerian embassy, one guy was also robbed there, and they couldn't do anything. And policemen were parking there, they couldn't do anything for that. So I'm very happy to come back with my life.
Right now, I feel relieved that I'm back home because actually I've spent about 14 years in South Africa without being, without being in Nigeria for so long. So I've spent about 14 years in South Africa. So right now that I found this opportunity to come back home, I think I'm happy, I'm relieved and safe also. I'm back home here to start over again because actually what happened to me in South Africa is terrible. What I'm trying to say is that I can't.
The latest batch of Nigerians fleeing South Africa arrived in Lagos to beat the 30th of June deadline given by anti-immigrant groups in South Africa. For most of these returning, coming home is safety, but of course, to lots of uncertainty as well.
I came back with a broken leg. I don't know how I'm gonna treat it. It hasn't been easy. The worst experience is that I lost all my properties, including my cars. I'm back home to start afresh again.
They just woke up one day, all foreigners must go, we don't want them in our country anymore, and they started destroying things, looting. You have to save yourself. You have to save life first.
The returnees landed in Lagos as part of a voluntary evacuation program coordinated by the federal government following warnings from vigilante groups such as Operation Dudula, which has been campaigning against undocumented migrants and stoking fears of renewed xenophobic violence. The federal government, through the Nigerians in Diaspora Commission (NIDCOM) and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, says the evacuation is entirely voluntary and is being carried out to ensure the safety of Nigerians who choose to return home. The latest flight was operated by Evacuees, which has partnered with the government on previous evacuation efforts. Many of those returning say they left behind businesses, jobs, and years of investment, choosing safety over uncertainty.
My experience in South Africa is very, very bad, and I regret going to that South Africa, that country. As long as you're a foreigner, they may even kill you there, and nobody will say anything.
But to be sincere, there are no jobs. It is even foreigners that go there to create jobs for themselves, to do businesses, to empower themselves. It's painful, having to leave. It's very painful.
Despite assurances from South African authorities that security has been reinforced, concerns remain as anti-immigration groups push ahead with planned demonstrations. For these Nigerians arriving home, the evacuation marks the end of an uncertain chapter and the beginning of rebuilding their lives here at home. For those choosing to remain in South Africa, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs has urged them to stay calm, remain security conscious, and avoid areas where protests may take place.
It's not safe, and because they see that we Nigerians, we are very hardworking, they are very lazy, they don't work, they don't do anything, so they think Nigerians are taking their job, so they started this match and match thing in South Africa that they go around with weapon and all the rest, so we have to just leave and for our safety, I left back my things, my business, but I'm begging Nigerian government if they can assist us financially for us to start our business back in Nigeria.
I've been in South Africa for 11 years, and those 11 years I would describe them as traumatic years because I didn't have permit all throughout those 11 years. The same thing with my husband. My husband was in South Africa for 12 years because I and my son, we went to meet him in 2015. So since then, it has been from one struggle to another, no job, no stable job, because there was no permit. Then hatred, no health care for foreigners. I can say that. I gave birth to 2 of my daughters in South Africa. I had my son here in Nigeria before moving to join my husband in South Africa in 2015. When I gave birth to my first daughter, I felt so bad because on the day that I gave birth, I was asked to clean the hospital floor because I was bleeding. Immediately I gave birth, I started bleeding. So one of the nurses came there. The moment she was talking to me in one of their languages, and she noticed that I couldn't respond. So that tells her that I am a foreigner. So she started telling me to clean the floor. Can you imagine that trauma? That psychological trauma that I'm not wanted here. I'm being treated as if I'm not human just because I'm not a South African. So I can begin to recount several experiences, bad ones at that, just being a foreigner because I'm not a South African. Even my children, at school, at times they are deprived of awards because they are not South Africans. Several times they come home from school crying that, Mom, what is it? Is it because we are not South Africans? That is why they are robbing us. So a whole lot of experience. But all in all, I want to thank God. We are back home. And I want to thank the Nigerian government and everyone involved in this. I just want to tell them that God bless them, because this is a great opportunity, and I thank God that I and my family, we made use of this great opportunity. Once again, I want to say thank you to the Nigerian government and everyone involved in this. I say God bless them. Thank you.
14 years of life in South Africa ended abruptly for photographer Johnson Afolabi. This is all he could salvage. Tens of thousands of dollars worth of equipment was lost when he was forced to flee.
They will just attack you. They will rush into your shop. They will start picking things. And you can see that is part of the criminality that you are facing there.
Returnee Emilia Godwin says the harassment and violence happened during a long period of time.
My child is going to their school. The teachers, they treat her bad because she's in Nigeria. They pull her. My husband is shot in South Africa of recent. The third day they bury her like a chicken.
South Africa's government has spoken out against targeting foreigners and insists it's cracking down on criminal elements. But the mood on the streets of Nigeria is that the government here should respond harshly to what's happening in South Africa.
Nigeria would not tolerate, Nigeria would not accept any violent actions on its nationals. We've given South Africa enough warning.
For now, the government is inclined more to diplomacy and has since been facilitating the return of its citizens. Several Nigerians have lost lives or their investments in South Africa before. Nigeria also has a history of deporting fellow Africans. 43 years ago, more than 2 million foreigners were deported by the government. This bag, called Ghana Must Go, was so called because it was what many of the foreigners used to pack their goods for their journey home. Nigeria argues those Ghanaian migrants did not face violence or harassment back then. But the reasons for the deportation sounds familiar: lost jobs, crime, and illegal migration, echoing what Nigerian deportees from South Africa are accused of.
Yeah, well, I'm glad your government, took them from South Africa back to Nigeria, because it looks like the South Africans, they are mainly on the Nigerians, okay? They're really, really mainly on the Nigerians to get out of their country, which somehow I understand, because some Nigerians, when they're in your country, they like to commit crimes and not abiding by, the laws in the country. But anyway, all I'll say is South Africans to take things easy before it backfires on them, okay? All right, that'll be all for this video. Please don't forget to subscribe. Also, share your thoughts in the comment section below, okay? Bye-bye.